cartridges. Hello everybody, it's Fat Man from the Holler. And as always, if you like my videos, hit like and subscribe. Today, I'm going to do a little review. I'm going to place a couple of links on the description for you to find this book. It's purchased on Amazon for $27. And I'm going to talk about several different topics of reloaded metallics, which is handgun and rifle, and shot shell, which is shotgun, and some safety tips about casting lead, because it's in this book, and this book is about the third time I'm looking at it. I have not read all through the book, but as whether it's colder, etc. I do like to spend a lot of time reading. It's the second edition by Richard Lee, and the book has been reprinted in 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 2020, 2021. Right here you can see it's been reprinted, revised, and reformatted from 2011. Copyright 2003. Richard Lee, Hartford, Wisconsin, and there's a zip code. And it has other people's name, cartridge drawings by Andy Lee and Pat Kilsing, load data, etc. It's pretty good. And then it also has powder manufacturer right here, which is in, it says 2299 Snake River Avenue, Lewiston, Idaho, Shawnee, Kansas. And then the one that caught my eye was Sedalia, Missouri, P.O. Box 2037, 409 East 2nd Street, Sedalia, Missouri. It has phone numbers, as you can see. It has websites that you can go to right here, and it shows you different powders. So that be helpful for purchasing powder, maybe manufacturer where you can get some good load data, or possibly may, depending if you're a certified dealer or not, or have FFL for a farms license, you probably buy some of that stuff for a well-rounded price. Chapter 1 is 21st Century Reloading, the introduction to reloading, 3 great reasons to reload your ammunition to save money, accuracy, and fun. Select a reloading tool for metallic cartridges, rifle and pistol, of course. Lead loader. Reloading is quite a simple process. Reloading presses, and then talks reloader presses, breech lock hand press, lead breech lock challenger press, lead turret press. For most of you guys who are familiar with reloading, or who actually reload, will understand this. And for newer folks, I'd advise reading a book and then check out some reviews. You can look through YouTube and different places, and Cabela's and Bass Pro, Precision, Lee, and different companies before you make a self-determined buy. A lot of stuff I actually researched for a while. And then the second chapter is some common terms: cartridges, assembly, case, primer, powder, and bullet, reloading rifle cases, and then it gives you more instructions on that and has different categories in that. Chapter 3 is loading for the best accuracy in your rifle, for bullet seating for accuracy. The bullet is essentially for the best accuracy. Chapter 4, loading for handguns. 5 is priming. 6 is measuring powder. 7 is gunpowder safety, extreme effects of a 1% cartridge reduction. Chapter 8 is all about pressure. Chapter 9 is latest information on pressure, etc. And then Chapter 10 is matching bullet metal to the chamber pressure. Chapter 11 is bullet casting, which is like lead that you see in some of my videos. It'll be on page 115. And I'm going to try to get through these chapters. And then Chapter 12 is reloading shotgun shells. And then Chapter 13 is muzzle loaders. So I believe this book is very well rounded. From casting and being black powder, shotgun shells, and metallics. Very good. And it has set examples of old and still popular cartridges: a 4570 Government, 1873 45 Colt, 1873 38 Smith & Wesson, 1877 30-30 Winchester, 1895 38 Automatic, 1900 38 Special 1902, 9mm Lugo 1902, 30-06 Springfield 1906, 45 ACP 1911. And then it said modern cartridges are 50 years old. And it says 270 Winchester 1925, 257 Roberts, 257 Remington right here in parentheses 1937, 357 Magnum 1935, 300 Weatherby Magnum 1944, 2222 Remington 1950, 308 Winchester 1952, 44 Magnum 1955. So that's chapter 1, and it shows the chart of the bullet, the primer assembly, the flash hole, the head, the primer pocket where the primer sets, the extraction groove, the web where the powder goes, the neck, the bullet, the mouth, the shoulder, and it gets into the pieces of a bullet. A bullet sounds like just a bullet, but it actually has more complexities than just a word. And then also in chapter 1, it shows the rifle lead loader complete instructions right here. It shows a chart, and your die and mold, etc. Chapter 1 is not too bad. And still in chapter 1, shows you more of the things: a decapping pen, a priming rod, a powder measure. And this stuff would be great for doing hand loading, I believe anyway. And then it gives you an illustration of how to set it up, and this is more of a hand reloading setup. So, pretty good. Crimping's a little bit different. But like in shotgun reloading, you don't have to do crimping. You can actually use cards, and you can actually pretty much use like hot glue and to seat it in when you're doing your cards. So there's a lot of stuff, and it shows different presses that you'll see on both pages. It has a lot to offer, and then it just shows different, and then it shows the turret press and the methods of how to actually set everything up. So I believe this book is definitely well-rounded. Chapter 2 shows how decapping pen, etc. works, and different stuff. And it says a expander being pulled from the neck in this photo right here. And it shows a lot of different stuff. So it's definitely an economical tool to see all the different things that it offers. As you just I want to kind of glance to show you guys pictures and what's going on in the book. I believe it's pretty well rounded. And then in your categories back here, it gives you your charting, which is a beautiful thing. And it has different calibers: 7mm, 880, 7mm, 7x57 Mauser, 7mm, 884. And I mean, it just has so much going on that you just have to really go through it. And 204, 17. And then it has like your pistol, like your Colt, you can see. You keep on going through 45 GAP, 44 Special, 44 Mag, 357, multiple kinds of 357, 38, 9mm, 380, 32, 25. And then it gives you a table of contents. It's 5x7, 25 automatic, 30 Harriet, 30 Luger, 7.62 by 25, 32 through 27 Federal Magnum, 32, 357, 380 Auto, 9mm, your 38s, your 357s, your 40 caliber Smith & Wesson, your 10mm, your 41 Remington Magnum, 44, 40, 44, 45 ACP, 45 GACP, or GAP, and a 45 Winchester Mag, 460, 480 Ruger, 500 Smith & Wesson, and then it has your rifles like 250 Savage, 256 Winchester, 25 Win Super Short Magnum, 6mm, and there's quite a list, as you can see, of calibers and 30s, 30, and then 338 Winchester Magnum and 300, and then 30 M1 carbine, which is a bullet that's consistently like a 350. It's a hopped up 357 round, basically, in a nutshell, by ballistics and just a 357 round, a little more powder. And we're going to get into the next part of this. It's a little more something I'm into, per se. And it's page 115. And it shows illustration of the son Robert Lee pretending he is making toy soldier with his uncle Bob Gilbert's toy maker. And it says secret 1928, pictures 30 years old for casting. This is when toys was actually made of lead before the birth defects and all the bad things that lead does offer. So they kind of, people steered away from lead toys over the years and went to stuff that's basically like putting caulking into a mold. You know what I mean? You can, or even you can melt your plastic down. And here's one actually, something else that caught my eye. And I haven't really looked all the way through the book. There are companies that sell bullet casting alloys. Your local reloading may offer it for sale. The only company that I'm aware of that offers bullet casting alloys for a mail order sales is Midway USA in Columbia, Missouri, right where I'm located. Toll-free number, 1-800 number, and the website Midway USA. Midway is a reliable company owned by Larry Potterfield, and it says, who is a fine gentleman. And then it's very interesting. There's a lot of reloading stuff that goes on in Missouri. I haven't been all the way through the book, but Graff & Sons, located in Mexico, Missouri, is one of the world's biggest reloading companies that I know of, and they started in Mexico and they're locally family owned. So there's that. But I'm going to get back into, I'm going to continue into the lead casting. It shows the boy doing the toy, acting like he's doing the toy casting. And it tells different things. It shows procedures of lead and your setup. You can use a melting pot. Don't make mistakes I personally did of using wheel weights, because you can see there's a handle right here. On mine is actually 10 pounds. And I use wheel weights. And the bottom where the lead comes out, as you can see right here, right above my fingernail. Mine got messed up. So basically I can't use the handle, so I actually have to pour it in, which is it's not designed to do that. And I have another lead melting pot that's given to me by a neighbor. But anyway, it shows your mold and it shows different things. You can buy most of that stuff at Bass Pro, Cabela's, Amazon, or just about anywhere. I mean, the lead's kind of high. And for lead, I definitely say, please use your PPE gear. And if you're going to be melting and casting lead, try to do it in a well-ventilated area. Of course, like when I do mine, I'll do it here on the counter where I make most of my videos. But I'll have the door open, the kitchen windows open, and the ceiling fan on. In the wintertime, I just may have a door open on and a window, or at least a fan to suck stuff out. Or I'll do it outside in my garage, in my shop. So that's very important. And I'll show you guys, like I've showed in other videos, definitely good to have a face shield so no lead gets in. If it pops or you have a mess, that it doesn't splatter on your face. Like I've done said in other videos where I got the piece on my face that got melted on. Luckily I had eye protection, but it didn't stop me from having lead, because the bottom was, when you use the wheel weights, you get the plastic ceramic coating that's on the wheel weights and the steel. And I figured a way to get past the messing your melting pot up, get a steel container and use like a turbo torch or a torch head in a propane tank, where you can get the coating off the wheel weights, where it'll be a film, and then the steel will sink in the bottom of the container, and then you can just basically pour the lead out into a ladle or a container to shape it, and you can pour it in increments as you wish, and then you can do it that way. Another thing about casting lead, you can get lead out of car batteries, but disclaimer, I'm not responsible for injuries, and when you do that, you need to use PPE gear. You need to be very understanding and well-read and know how to operate and dispose of the acid that's in the lead using a chemical container and taking it to a local city works place of sorts where they can properly dispose of it at a waste station. It does cost money to do so, but it keeps the environment, your health, nature, and the water table safe. So I definitely want to say that, because that's very important as well. And it shows you, it says, be sure to lube the mold. So you can lubing your mold helps it so it doesn't stick. And then Another thing about when you're using the mold, like I said in other videos, is heat it up so you don't get cracks or inconsistencies in it. And there's a lot going on when you cast lead. And over time, I've done a lot of things with nuts, and then I have to reread when I read a book like this. And then here we go. We're getting on to the page of mine, where I've talked about in other videos, is using lubricating gun lube A-locks. What I usually do, there's putting it in a bowl. What I'll use is like a Betty Crocker or Ziploc container. You put your casted ammo inside the container and put the lid on and put a few drops of your liquid A-locks in it, and you shake it up. Make sure they're all covered sufficiently, and you can place it on wax paper in a secure area for 2 months for it to cure. That's the way I was actually taught, and that's actually things I've read as well to follow up to make sure things I'm taught is actually proper. And then it shows another deal right here. It says the bullet melts and the A-locks lube clings to the hot bullet. Well, they say you gotta do it that way. I mean, that's okay. I don't. I just melt the bullets down, put it in a container, they cool down, shake them up, let them set for 2 months curing. And that's what I do for black powder. May be different doing your metallics of handgun and large rifle, but that's the way I do it for my black powder, revolver, and rifle. So that's the whole chapter on that. And then the next chapter 12 is more something I'm into as well, is shotgun shell reloading, shot shells, and it talks about different stuff. And then it shows your presses, and these presses are a little more expensive, powder and shot. And they're automatic presses, and you can do a lot of shells quicker. I just use my Mech Junior, which I actually like, and it's manual. And it shows about how you can make your slug molds right here and stuff like that. I have not purchased nothing like that yet, or this mold for doing like your typical double-aught buckshot and that mold. And 13 is muzzle loaders, and then it shows different bullets, etc. This is more the bullet that I make right here, which is they call a real bullet, as you can see right here, and it tells everything about that. So I typically like to make my own things. And then it shows which is like the bullet I use, the Concord ball. I use my 44 black powder, which I haven't purchased one, but I'm planning on getting another one. I've had multiple ones over the years, and then there's all kinds of charge data. And I mean, that's the way this book's pretty well rounded, especially maybe not for everybody as much as it'd be for me, but it speaks about doing metallics, handguns and shotguns, rifles, black powder, casting lead. I definitely say for $27, it's probably going to be, it's really pretty much the first book I ever purchased for reloading. But I looked at many different books, and this is the most well-rounded book in general. And I'm not doing this because I'd like to just promote something for Amazon affiliates so people will buy it so I can make like 20, 30 cents. It's not even that. It's about realistically, I want people to see videos that are going to be about reloading, about things that you may utilize, or if you're new to casting lead or black powder, or even doing shotgun reloading, or even somebody doesn't reload at all. I want to have a well-rounded video so you can be informed of what you're buying and see what you're buying. Because when I buy stuff, I didn't know if it's going to be a good book, but this is about like I said, the third to fourth time of actually opening the book. I mean, as well-rounded as the book is, I mean, you can't go wrong with it. I mean, for $27, I mean, it might not have every single thing for every single person, but I believe it touches base with most rifle cartridges and handguns and black powder and casting. So it's definitely a book that I find is going to be efficient for me. And I'm sure as I read this book, there's going to be many other categories of things that I may have been doing, I may have been doing wrong. Because I'm not perfect. I know how to do stuff, but I like to do everything for safety, budget effectiveness. So I'm just talking about different coatings, about the A-locks. I make in other videos I've talked about making homemade homemade gun lubricant. It's usually preferably used in my black powder, but you can take these crayons like I made in the other video. You can melt these crayons down and have different colors, and you can make your bullets different color coded for the color coded for caliber. Or if it's black powder, you can use it for separating your bullets into whichever category you want, or you don't even have to do it at all. But there's all kinds of options out there, so I try to make a good informed video based upon the knowledge that I have and knowledge that I'm gaining, because I don't know everything, and I'll definitely say that. But there's many methods of doing everything in this world, but I like to make good content, and hopefully you'll find this book, if you purchase this book, to be very well-rounded, and I believe this is going to be a great on-hand reference for the desk from when I'm doing things. And I'll read each section of the book, and then as I read the book, I'm sure I'll be quite amazed, because I quite enjoy reloading and doing things. So hopefully this video and this book will give you guys a step towards the right direction. And even if you don't purchase the book or find the book to be interesting, or the video, I just try to make things that's going to help others so they can be informed. Because when I buy things, I make a video, put it on YouTube, and product link it. I do it so it's easier for anybody who wants to find the product. Somebody buys the product, I might get 20 cents for it, not getting rich. And that money that initially goes from the Amazon affiliate that I may make will initially be going into buying more books to provide more YouTube videos, because I do not have really a budget of sorts. And I'm pretty much borderline hillbilly living in poverty, if you want to know the truth. But anyway, much love from Fat Man from the Holler, and I'm out.